So if you were all also wondering before I start this real quickly, where is my Pat McAfee video? I was a moron and didn't have my mic on. So that I'm going to have to redo that again. I am very sorry about that. And I'm sorry I actually haven't been posting lately. This to me, out of all the government things and a lot of everything basically is fake. This is the fakest. This is the fakest thing that they've ever done. So we're going to take videos from Fox, from MSNBC, and from CNN. And we're going to hear all their stories and how fake each and every one is. Let's start with this one.
It's being called the biggest cover-up in history. UFO whistleblowers allege the U.S. government has been in possession of, quote, non-human craft since the 1930s. The head of the Pentagon...
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, and listen, the left, they make up the whole climate change, global warming BS. This is basically the right wing's climate change. This is basically what this is. It is a bunch of crap. There's nothing real about these UFOs, okay? There's nothing real about it. This is all fake, and this is also that they can take more money out of taxpayers and have more control over you. Funny how that works, right? Okay, let's hear what other buffoonery they have to say.
Pentagon's UFO office calls the allegation insulting, saying there's no evidence.
But our next guest says he's had 2 UFO sightings and that this is the beginning of a process that will lead to greater transparency for the American people.
No, it's going to lead to more crap. More authoritarianism, because they're going to add new rules for all of us. And there is no evidence at all. The only evidence there is the ones they made up. And just so before we continue this, if there are any UFOs and aliens, they're made by government officials. It is they have technology to make these aliens. There's no aliens in space. I don't even know if there is an outer space, to be honest. I don't even think there's that. All these creatures, if they were to show up ever in our lives, they would be made by the government. They would be robots and AI powered by the government. That's the only way these things exist. Or by green screens. That's it. That's the only way these things exist. Let's continue it on.
Mike Barrett, UFO expert and aerospace engineer, joins us now. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, it's great to be with you guys. Thanks for having me.
This was quite the hearing, wasn't it?
It was eventful. It was something different. I mean, in terms of the content, it strikes me that it's not necessarily anything really different than we've known from the X-Files 30 years ago. But the fact that it was on this particular stage with these particular people involved, that it was an official congressional hearing, I think makes it kind of unique and, certainly begins to move the ball forward. My question is, what are we moving forward to right now?
Yeah, the analogy to the X-Files is actually on point, I think, Mike, because the question is, how serious do we take this story? How serious do the American people take this?
I'll answer. We don't take it serious at all. As a matter of fact, we take it serious that you all are buffoons and shills.
Story. And it kind of exists in this netherland between some fearing this is all a distraction, even Congress taking this more seriously as a distraction from other issues, other scandals, while others of us say this would be sort of a big deal. Like, this would be a big deal if we have a non-human craft, so we should take it seriously. So do you think, okay, what do you know, Mike? What can we take seriously? Was Roswell real? Are we in possession of a non-human craft?
Yeah, I think Roswell was real. It's something definitely happened there. It certainly wasn't a weather balloon. And then you have other crashes before that, like the Cape Girardeau crash in 1942. And it raises all kinds of questions that weren't asked at this particular hearing. It bothers me there wasn't a lot of follow-up. You know, you played the clip of the guy saying there were non-human biologics found. Well, I mean, that could be anything. That could be a cow. That could be dog food. You know, he wasn't very specific. And the question for me, from my perspective, is okay, great. We finally got somebody to sort of admit on the record that that we have.
I don't even understand. How do they even? God, they put so much energy and time to make this crap up. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. How do they even do this? This is all made up crap. I mean, come on. I don't take this guy seriously. I don't take the station seriously. I don't take any of them seriously. And we're about to go to the other ones here in a minute. But let's let this shill finish his story.
We have these craft, and we possibly have some sort of bodies, and he wouldn't say alien, but we've had them for 70 years now, give or take, if not 100 years. And the question is, what have we been doing with that technology for that period of time? That's what I'd like to know, because there's a lot of things that we see in the skies, and there's a lot of things that we've seen on NASA videos and so forth that aren't readily explainable with the level of technology that we supposedly have right now. So, I mean, is there a whole secret aspect to the space program that we don't know about? Have they had anti-gravity technology or basically flying saucer technology for decades and just not told us about it? These are
Let's make something very clear. There's no aliens that have this technology. Again, and I'll repeat myself, the only way they will actually you will actually see them here is if the government technologically makes these fake creatures. That is the only way they exist, and it will be all the government's fault. No one else.
the questions I want to know the answers to. And I think maybe we're starting to crack that door open a little bit.
No, we have had a great technological leap forward over that same time frame. Whether or not that's by our own innovation or by borrowing technology. I agree. These are important questions to answer. Thank you, Mike.
I disagree. These are the crappiest questions to answer. How about we ask, why are you even talking about this first? Well, that's one of the questions. Why are you making fake stories up? Why are you making fake moon landings up? Why are you making fake sporting events up? That's the questions we should be asking these people right now. Not about UFOs. Okay, so that whole nonsense is over. Next is, let's see what MSNBC has to say. Let's listen to this nonsense. Oh, wait, I just saw another stupid one, actually. Let's listen to this one.
Now is...
Let's listen to this one.
Well, if there's a good thing, it's rotating. Strange objects have been seen.
Unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, have captured the imagination of Americans for decades. But much of the conversation around UFOs has been confined to science fiction movies and novels, such as the 1982 hit E.T. In the absence of government commentary on the topic, conspiracy theories around the U.S. concealing alien life and technology in secret compounds like Area 51 have run rampant. In fact, a 2019 poll found that 68% of respondents believed the U.S. government knows more about UFOs than it's telling us. Earlier this
No. And again, yes, these make for good movies. And that's half of it as well. They want to do it to make money. It does make for good movies. I'm not going to say it doesn't. It makes out for great movies, some of these things. We know it's fake. We know it's Hollywood. And that's the end of it. It's not real. And I don't think 68% of the people think that this is real. I'm sorry. I think that's a biased, rigged poll.
This year, conversation around UFOs reached a fever pitch after the U.S. military shot down several unidentified objects in a matter of days.
It has happened again for the third day in a row and the fourth time in just 9 days. The United States has shot down an unidentified high-flying object.
One of the objects was later identified as a Chinese spy balloon. The rest, President Biden has said, are likely objects.
Okay. That does not look like a balloon at all. And I don't know what that's supposed to be. I honestly don't, but it's not what they're telling us. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know what that is. And the three thing, and that's the thing. That's what makes me not believe in the whole spy balloon thing. Ever since the Damar Hamlin injury, everything's 3 and 33 now. I mean, it gets obvious. It gets obvious after a while. Not buying it.
Chinese spy balloon. The rest, President Biden has said, are likely objects tied to private companies, recreation, or research institutions. In an attempt to be more transparent and address potential national security questions, the government has taken up the charge to publicize and legitimize the study of unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAPs, as the military has rebranded UFOs.
Today is the first hearing of its kind where we will attempt to get down to the bottom of what is actually happening with UAPs.
We want to shift the conversation about UAPs from sensationalism to science.
A 20-
There's nothing science about it. Is it fictional? Yes. Is it non-fictional and real? No. I mean, this is all a joke. This is a joke. I mean, I can't believe something so ridiculous like this. I mean, come on. How did this even start up? I don't even get it. Okay, let's just continue on. Oh, muted the wrong thing.
2022 UAP report published by U.S. intelligence stated that 195 of the incidents the office had examined could be attributed to ordinary explanations, like drones, balloons, and other objects including birds. However, another 171 incidents were labeled as uncharacterized, with some appearing to have demonstrated unusual flight characteristics or performance capabilities that require further analysis.
We experienced was, like I said, well beyond the material science and the capabilities that we had at the time, that we have currently, or that we're going to have in the next 10 to 20 years.
I think they have started to recognize that we should actually have the ability to report these objects, not because we're out there doing some type of UFO hunt, but because it's a matter of national security and domain awareness that the tactical air crew in this country understand what's in front of their aircraft.
And again, they get to spend more money, more resources for them to create this fake nonsense, even though it doesn't cost them as much as it says it does, so that the shills get richer and the non-shills get poorer. That's what this is. That's exactly what this is. And I mean, it's so pathetically stupid. I mean, again, this is what they want to do. I think we've seen enough of this video to know where this is going. So let's see what the other stations have to say about it. Okay, let's see this. Oh boy. All right. Let's see this.
A congressional committee held a rare hearing on Capitol Hill today on the subject of UFOs, with members and witnesses alike pushing for more government transparency on this issue. CNN's Tom Foreman has more on the story for us. Give us the latest, Tom.
This really was quite a hearing, Wolf, with plenty there for conspiracy theorists, those who believe there are other beings out there trying to contact us. And if you listen closely, enough for skeptics, too.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh.
something's out there, we don't know what, and we ought to be concerned.
We were primarily seeing dark gray or black cubes inside of a clear sphere.
That was the message from all the witnesses about unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAPs.
Do you believe UAPs pose a potential threat to our national security?
Yes. You're talking something that can...
Again, the only way these alien creatures and spaceships are made is by either it's fake and it's a green screen and they just have it there for acting, or, like I said, if aliens were to really exist and have these powers to hurt people, they would be created by government officials. They wouldn't just be from outer space. I mean, that's just not possible. It's not possible. And that's why this whole thing is a bunch of just nonsense. Okay, let's hear what else these buffoons have to say.
Go into space, go someplace, drop down in a matter of seconds, do whatever it wants, and leave. And there's nothing we can do about it. Nothing.
Backed with videos released by the government and their own first-hand observations of what are more commonly called UFOs, the 3 retired military men, 2 former Navy pilots and a former Air Force intelligence officer, described mysterious somethings, objects, lights, with astonishing capability.
And I forgot to mention this, and another thing, some of these images look like video games, from back in the day. It looks like a video game that you would be playing on whether it was an Atari or on a computer from back in the 80s, 70s. It looks like a video game. It doesn't even look like it's real. And I forgot to mention that, and I'm sorry I didn't mention that earlier, but that's what this looks like.
These objects were staying completely stationary in Category 4 hurricane winds. These same objects would then accelerate to supersonic speeds, 1.1, 1.2 Mach, and they would do so in very erratic and quick behaviors that I
What are they even talking about? What? Oh my God. This is getting stupider and dumber every single day. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? How do they even make this up? I mean, my goodness. Oh my God. Like I said, I'm not buying any of it.
Explanation for.
And when the witnesses started talking about what they claim they've been told, it went even further, albeit with no proof in tow.
You said that the government has alien bodies or alien species.
I have to be careful to describe what I've seen firsthand and not in this environment.
And have you seen any of the bodies?
That's something I've not witnessed myself.
This is huge. This is worldwide.
The whole spectacle was enough to have some committee members openly accusing the government of a cover-up.
It is unacceptable to continue to gaslight Americans into thinking that this is not happening.
While others, like the witnesses, are calling for more open reporting procedures for anyone who sees anything.
We can't be afraid of asking questions, and we can't be afraid of the truth.
Except they are afraid of the truth. We can't. What he should be saying is, we have to lie more and we have to take more taxpayer money out of you. That's what they're really saying in their heads and behind the closed doors. This is all ridiculous, personally. And I mean, it's a bunch of crap. I mean, do the Bernie progressives have anything to say? Let's listen to this. Will be the last one I do. Okay, play this.
If you believe we have crashed, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
The House Oversight Committee held a hearing today to address unidentified aerial phenomenon, or UAPs, which were previously known as UFOs, but nonetheless, this has been an ongoing debacle, an ongoing story that I was avoiding until now. And to be quite frank, the hearing was fascinating to say the least. Before I give you the details about what the allegations are here, who testified during this hearing, and what the conclusions might be, I want to go to you first, John. As our resident science and space nerd, I feel like that's what you're known for.
Am I a space nerd? I don't know. I'm a sci-fi nerd, I suppose.
Close enough.
Sure. Yeah. I don't care.
Oh, really?
I know. I do. I do and I don't at the same time. I'm sure I'm going to be invested in all the videos. But for me, I don't expect anything to come from this.
Oh, that's good, because
and
nothing will come from it.
I'm not saying he's lying or that he's wrong or that he's telling the truth or that he's right. I don't know, but I feel deep in my bones that regardless of which it is, we're not going to uncover anything. I am sure that there are aliens. I just don't know.
How are you sure that there are aliens?
Because there are like countless trillion galaxies, and it's too much real estate for us to have been the only time that intelligent life has developed. I'm just playing the numbers game here, like a lot of people have. But for me, like, I don't necessarily believe.
Again, and that's another thing. These galaxies, they're not real either. And I mean, they change the stories up with that all the time as well. I mean, and that's a whole nother video I'll do later. Again, every single station, whether it's right or left, it is the same BS. Nonsense, garbage.
They're like cruising around like over the Pacific Ocean every day for a year. Why? Why are they just doing laps over the Pacific Ocean?
We have footage of them, John.
That is pretty high res.
We have footage. Okay.
That's pretty high res.
So let's back up. Let me give you the details about what's transpiring. If, like me, up until today, you were ignoring the story and have no idea what's going on. So apparently there are now multiple individuals who were in the military who claim that the military is essentially, the Defense Department is essentially hiding information from Congress and the general public in regard to unidentified aerial phenomenon, okay? So the three individuals who testified before the House Oversight Committee today included David Grush, who is a veteran and intelligence officer. We've also got David Fravor, who is a former Navy commander, and Ryan Graves, a retired Navy pilot. Now, all three of them said different things during the hearing, and I'm gonna do my best to summarize what their allegations are in the story. So last month, David Grush, the man that you just saw in the first video we showed you, came forward with accusations that the Defense Department has been hiding UAPs from Congress. Now, according to him, the US government, its allies, and even defense contractors have possessed both fragmented and intact UAPs for decades. Some of these UAPs are allegedly the size of football fields, according to what he claims. And
okay, and now they're changing the size of them. I mean, these stories are just, it's obvious this is not real. I mean, one small, now they're the size of a football field. Now they're the size of this and that. Oh my God. Oh, this is how you know. This is how you know. This is so pathetic. Oh my God. Oh my God. We're screwed. I mean, this whole world's screwed. I mean, if people are buying into this, we're all screwed. Oh my God. This is, oh my God. Let's just keep playing this nonsense.
Grush has even stated that non-human biologics were recovered along with some of those UAPs. Now, he's a veteran who has worked specifically with UAPs for years. From 2019 to 2021, he served as the National Reconnaissance Office's representative to the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. I didn't even know if that task force existed until today, but it does.
It's part of the X-Files.
And between 2021 and 2022, he was the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency's, or NGA's, lead for UAP analysis. Anyway, long story short, he seems to have experience and expertise in this area, considering what his previous job was. But there is a catch. He also says that he has not personally seen UAPs in person, okay? Rather, he's only passing on what he claims that he's seen in documents and photos, along with what he's heard from over 40 witnesses. And he also said in today's hearing that because of all of that information, he now knows the exact location of the US government's UAPs.
Then let's go. Let's stop with the hearings. Just get some buses, put all the Congress people on them, ship them over to the base, and knock on the front door, and let's just find out. If it's the size of a football field, then let's just see it. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I just like.
Look, as I watched most of the hearing today. I couldn't stop listening to it. For some reason, I found it super fascinating. But what stood out to me in the testimony was really the lack of specificity, and when members of Congress ask good questions. And I'll be fair, I think members of both sides of the aisle, like they asked, in some cases, very specific, good questions. The answer was always, I'm not at liberty to talk about this publicly, but I'll talk about it like privately, that kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, so it left, I felt the hearing was wanting in the information that was provided to the general public.
Yeah, well, and at least for him, again, he doesn't have firsthand experience with this.
Right.
He has experience of other people, which I believe he has said are lead.
And by the way, if I think it was muted when I said this, I did have to pause it for a minute earlier because I had to help someone do something. But so if it was on pause, so obviously now it's on play. The questions were scripted too. Let's be honest. Yeah, they sounded good if this was all real, but it's not. This was terrible. I mean, this whole thing is just so fake. And I guarantee you, this will be a hit topic in next year's election. Oh, there's no doubt in my mind. Especially if it's that awful DeSantis. He maybe is the biggest shill of everyone. He maybe is the biggest shill of everyone. And I mean, let's be honest. This whole thing is just a bunch of nonsense. This whole thing's terrible. Anyway, thank you for listening in. Remember, support Jake, my buddy Jake, and I'll catch you on the next one.